Welcome once again to our encouraging word. We've been working our way through God's toolbox for daily living, the Bible. We've been covering a book at a time, and we are now up to 2nd Chronicles. Now, typically I focus on a single verse, but today I want to paint the big picture. You see, if you read your way through the Bible, and you get to First Chronicles and Second Chronicles, you'll say, wait a minute, all this sounds familiar. I just read about that in Samuel and Kings. Why am I reading about the same stuff all over again? You see, First and Second Chronicles focus mainly on King David and King Solomon, which we read about in Samuel and Kings. So why do we have to have that story again? Well, if you do a little research, and this is why pastors have libraries full of commentaries, if you do a little research, you discover that the books of Kings and Chronicles, 1st and 2nd Kings, were written to the Jews as they were in exile in Babylon. That is, the Babylonians had invaded Israel, had captured the city of David, destroyed the city, taken the people as captives back to Babylon as slaves. And so 1st and 2nd Kings was written to them to help them deal with that situation and that reality. Now, 1st and 2nd Chronicles was written to the Jews after they had returned to Israel to try to put the pieces back together, and it was quite a challenge. So in general, if you read 1st and 2nd Kings, you will see that David and Solomon are painted with a far more realistic paintbrush. They are shown with all their flaws, with all their warts, with all their sins. And if you read 1st and 2nd Chronicles, you see an idealized picture of David and Solomon. So, for example, if you read Chronicles, you'll never discover that David sinned with Bathsheba. You will never discover that Solomon married foreign wives and was turned away from the faith. Chronicles is painting this idealized picture as this is what a king should be. This is the way followers of God should act. It's that idealized picture. Now, if you think about it, God thinks that people are pretty smart. God thinks that people can handle a variety of perspectives. God thinks that we need a variety of perspectives to be a good follower of His, a good citizen of His kingdom. So the Holy Spirit directed the people who assembled the Bible to include Kings and Chronicles, because God thinks we need to read both. We need the idealized, this is what we're shooting for, and we need the realistic, this is the struggle that we have. We need both of those perspectives in order to be good followers of God. And, this got me thinking about how we need to be citizens of this country. If we only watch Fox News and that's all, we're missing out. If we only watch CNN and that's all, we're missing out. We need to watch Fox and CNN, and we need to read the newspaper, and we probably ought to turn in CBS and other news sources. The more perspectives we get, the better our information will be, and the better citizens of this country will be, and the better Christians we will be. If we're only getting our information from Facebook or Twitter, we are likely to be easily manipulated by people that we don't want to be manipulated by. They can spew forth conspiracy theories, and we can be used and abused, and our country will suffer. So God thinks we're pretty smart. God thinks we can handle a variety of information sources. Think about the biography of Jesus in the Bible. How many do we have in the Bible? We don't have one. We don't have two. We don't have three. We actually have four biographies of Jesus: Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. And God thinks we need all of those perspectives in order to be good followers of Christ. In the same way, we need a variety of perspectives that come in the Old Testament as well. So, as we think today about 2 Chronicles, it reminds us that we need to be broadly educated in order to be good followers of God, and broadly educated in order to be good citizens of this world. This is the encouraging word of the Lord. Thanks be to God.